Scotland.
Welcome to Ibrox for the thirds of the weekend Scottish Cup quarter-finals as Rangers and Raith Rovers vie for a place in the last four alongside Cally Thistle and Celtic, with Falkirk or Ayr to join them tomorrow evening. Michael Beale's kept changes to a minimum after Wednesday's impressive showing at Easter Road. John Lundstrom replaces Ryan Jack in the heart of the Rangers midfield. In the only deviation from that starting 11, Ridvan Yilmaz is back in the squad for the first time since October. Raith Rovers come to Ibrox looking to replicate the results from their last cup visit in February 2015 when they knocked their hosts out of the Scottish Cup. They do so with a threadbare squad, with William Akio and Ross Millen dropping out from the defeat by Partick Thistle to be replaced by Isma Gonçalves and young Adam Masson. Let me just run you through then the starting teams. It's Alan McGregor in goal for Rangers, the captain James Tavernier at right full-back, Connor Goldson and Ben Davies in the centre of defence with Borna Barisic at left-back. In the midfield, it is John Lundstrom, Todd Cantwell and Nikola Raskan. Ryan Kent ahead of them with Antonio Cholak and Fashion Sakala up front. On the bench for Rangers, it's McLaughlin, Yilmaz, Hadji, Jack, Suter, Kamara, Morelos, Wright and Arfield. For Raith Rovers, it's Jamie McDonald in goal. A back four of Adam Masson, Ryan Nolan, Tom Lang and Liam Dick. The two central midfielders, Sam Stanton and Brad Spencer, with Conor McBride just ahead of them. On the flanks, Aidan Connolly and Dylan Easton, with Isma Gonçalves up front for Ian Murray's side. On the bench, only 5 players named, and a pretty inexperienced bench at that. It's Thompson, Vaughan, Mahadi, Ross and Greg Young. The referee this afternoon is John Beaton. Players are out on the park. Rangers in their traditional home kit, blue tops, white shorts, red and black socks. They will go from right to left as we look at it from the main stand position. Raith Rovers in their change kit. It's a bright pink top with navy shorts and pink socks. It will be Rangers to get us underway this afternoon in the Scottish Cup quarter-final tie. Antonio Cholak and Ryan Kent in the centre circle, and we are underway. It's Alistair Lamont here with commentary alongside Stephen Thompson and Craig Levine. Stephen, can you see anything other than a home victory this afternoon?
No, it's going to be very difficult, I think, for Raith Rovers this afternoon here at Ibrox. You know, Rangers, probably one of their best performances of the season was against Hibs in their last game. If it can replicate anywhere near that level of performance, then they'll have too much for Raith Rovers today.
Craig, what would Raith Rovers' game plan here be? Stay in the game as long as possible.
Exactly, and that's what they'll be looking to do. To lose an early goal, put themselves under pressure and get Rangers' tails up.
It's Fashion Sakala, who has been in a pretty rich vein of form under Michael Beale, and especially on Wednesday, by all accounts, only saw the highlights of the game, but Fashion Sakala was getting plenty of plaudits for his performance on Wednesday night at Easter Road. Here's Ryan Kent picking up on the left-hand side, tracked by Stanton. It's Cantwell back for Davies. Every Rangers player already inside Raith Rovers territory, barring Alan McGregor. It's Connor Goldson, who put the ball in his own net on Wednesday, having scored here against Kilmarnock in the previous game. He just presented that straight to Isma Gonçalves, who's tried to lift it over Alan McGregor. Oh, that's so close to the most astonishing finish from Isma Gonçalves and the most incredible start to the game, just past the post.
That was remarkable. Wow. I mean, really, I thought it was going in for a second. It's really sloppy play from Connor Goldson. Passes it straight to Isma, who takes a touch. It bobbles up. And he's 10 yards inside his own half, tries the volley, and for a good few seconds it looked as if it was going in. Alan McGregor was nowhere and just goes about a metre past the post. What an effort.
It really was. Here's Borna Barisic at the other end, curling it in near post ball. It's headed away only as far as Sakala. Sakala crowded out before he can get the shot in, but here it comes from Kent. It takes a deflection on its way through. I think it came off Sakala last and behind for a goal kick to Raith Rovers. But I mean, let's go back to that Isma Gonçalves effort just to try and illustrate it. Connor Goldson gives the ball straight to Gonçalves about 10 yards inside Raith Rovers territory. He looks up. Alan McGregor's at the edge of his penalty area because really there was no threat to the Rangers goal. Gonçalves just whacks it First time, and it just drifted wide of goal, Craig Levine. It was so unlucky from Gonçalves.
Yeah, I think we all had our hearts in our mouth waiting to see if it was actually going to land in the goals, but it was a great effort by Esma. I mean, Raith Rovers just have to be careful that they don't get too deep and get camped round about their own penalty box, because I think that sometimes when there's too many people back, you're a little bit unsure about who's picking up who, and there's too many players there, so hopefully they can stay away from that.
Here's a ball over the top. Sakala was looking interested. Raith Rovers deal with it initially, and they have the ball in the centre of the park, and it's Easton out to Liam Dick on the far side, plays it forward looking for the run of Gonçalves, who made sure of that victory in the previous round against Motherwell with the third goal. He's lost out though to Connor Goldson, who'll be keen to sharpen up his play after presenting the ball to Gonçalves for that early effort. Here's Kent out to Sakala, left hand side for Rangers, running it. Young Masson at right back, but Masson sticks to his task well, takes possession from Sakala, clears it over the halfway line, but it's given the ball straight back to Rangers in the shape of Ben Davies, who saunters forward out to the left hand side now with Barisic. Short ball to Kent and back for Barisic, who scored the winner against St Johnstone in round 4. Back with Goldson, 15 yards inside the Raith Rovers half. Now it's Raskan picking up Kent about 30 yards from goal, out to the left hand side for Barisic. Rangers looking for the early breakthrough. It's a ball in for Cholak. He's beaten in the air. It was a good jump, I think, by Nolan, who contested the aerial ball with Cholak and did enough to put him off. Raskan picks up for Rangers and makes his way towards the edge of the penalty area. It's Barisic now, left hand side, back with Raskan, left of the box, looking to find a pass. He does find Lundstrom, 20 yards from goal, gets the shot in, it comes off Lang, breaks the way of Ryan Kent just outside the box. Now it's Barisic, turns inside his man, plays it back to Ryan Kent, 25 yards from goal, tries to lift it to the back post. Again, it's headed away by Raith Rovers defender. Lundstrom out to Cantwell on the right hand side of the box. Rangers probing for the opening goal in these early stages. 5 minutes in, still no goals. It's Lundstrom right hand side, back to Cantwell. Infield for Ryan Kent, short ball for Sakala. He can't keep a hold of it, but Cantwell picks up, but he's dispossessed again on the edge of the box, and then it's Easton who's fouled by Connor Goldson in the end, and it's a Raith Rovers free kick. But other than that, Gonçalves' effort, it's pretty relentless Rangers pressure.
Yeah, it is. I mean, they are sitting very, very deep, Raith Rovers, when Rangers are on the attack, and Rangers have so much possession of the ball. Just a couple of times Sakala, I felt, could have done better at getting the ball out of his feet and driving at the young fullback that's playing against him. You saw him doing it so effectively midweek, but that was because Hibernian were pretty much trying to go forward themselves and left themselves very exposed. But it's a different kind of battle today. Whenever he's behind the ball, you've got to find different ways to get the answers. It's not quite as open for Rangers.
Yeah, and that seems to me to be when they've struggled, when they play against teams like Hearts and Hibs away from home, who have come out and tried to attack them themselves. Then Rangers have won at a canter and probably played their best football, but it's when they have to unpick defences that are sitting really deep and camping into their own half that's when they've had problems here.
Yeah, and Gonçalves is coming almost right back to 20 yards outside outside his 18-yard box, and the problem then, of course, is when Raith do win the ball back, they don't have a pass, so they have to make 2 or 3 shorter passes to allow Gonçalves to get further forward. So, and if they make a mistake, the Rangers are picking the ball up 20 yards from goal.
Here they are, about 30 yards from goal with Kent, and now Barisic left hand side, back to Raskan. Lundstrom back into that midfield for Rangers. A slack pass from Raskan for Barisic, and it's out of play. And every minute that ticks by for Raith Rovers while the scoreline remains goalless will be a positive one for them. Certainly if that effort had been on target from Esma Gonçalves, it would have been the opening goal, and that would really have given them something to cling on to. As it is, it's still 0-0. Celtic winning very comfortably, more comfortably than many people would have imagined at Tynecastle yesterday, given Hearts gave Celtic a really good game of it at Celtic Park just a few days ago in the league, and the previous game at Tynecastle had been a really close encounter as well, but Celtic really showing their class yesterday. Rangers looking to join Caley Thistle in the semi-final draw, which will be made on Monday night after our live coverage of Falkirk against Ayr United on the BBC Scotland channel. Here's Lundstrom for Rangers. Now Tavernier right hand side. Again, everyone behind the ball for Raith Rovers. It's Davies picking up, knocks out to the left hand side for Barisic, takes one touch, comes back inside. He's looking to try and get away from Connolly, plays it back to Davies. Now it's Raskin taking over, plays it square for Goldson, midway inside Raith Rovers territory, out to Tavernier. Cantwell for Goldson, and now Lundstrom gets and tries to slip it through for Sakala. It was a Raith Rovers body in the way, but it's Tavernier picking up for Lundstrom. All the possession belongs to Rangers. It's Raskin. Can they unpick this defence? It's Raskin out to Barisic on the left hand side. Connolly comes across, but he can't get the block in. Sakala springs to meet with the header, but he glances it wide. He's so good at leaping and winning these headers. He's not the tallest of players, of course, but he's so good in the air, Stephen. But it probably should have hit the target on that occasion. Better.
The quality of the ball in is absolutely sensational from Barisic. He's had 2 or 3 already in the match. We're only 8 minutes in, but the quality of the cross was superb. The timing of the run was really good from Sakala, but when he gets it, he's got to just smash his forehead into the ball. It kind of glances off his forehead and goes wide. It was a big chance.
Yeah, it was a chance, and you know, I think he should have scored the same as you've mentioned. But I think Raith need to try and stop that service coming in from this left-hand side. Barisic has put in 4 or 5 wonderful crosses already.
Here he is again, left-hand side, as always, attacking more than he is defending, certainly this afternoon, as Cantwell plays it square for Lundstrom. A bit of time and space, but he plays it out to the right hand side to Tavernier, takes a heavy touch, but he still has it, slips it through for Lundstrom, right hand side, Tavernier back in, good save. Jamie McDonald, first time he's been called into action after 9 minutes to turn it around the post to deny Tavernier. It's Rangers 0, Raith Rovers 0.
Brilliant bit of play from James Tavernier, cutting inside, gets the 1-2. It looked as though it was going in. It's a fantastic save from Jamie McDonald at full stretch, just fingertips round the left-hand post. But yeah, that was better from Rangers in terms of cutting through this Raith Rovers defence.
Barisic out to the right-hand side to swing in the corner kick, left-footed in front of the Raith Rovers fans. He's played a low ball into Cholak. He lays it out to Cantwell. Cantwell has it right-hand side of the box. Back it goes to Barisic on that right-hand side. Swings in another cross. Davies flicks it on. Comes to Goldson at the back post and is blocked behind by Tom Lang for another Rangers corner. As Goldson almost knocking it in as he did against Kilmarnock. It was a similar corner kick move actually that led to his goal against Kilmarnock, but there's Tom Lang in the way and it remains goalless after 10 minutes here. Tavernier to take from the near side, the Rangers left this time, plays it short for Cantwell. Tavernier gets back round him, but it goes to Barisic. He lays it into the path of Tavernier, who stands up to the back post. Lundstrom won't get there. In fact, he nudges Raith Rovers player Liam Dick in the back, and it will be a Raith Rovers free kick, and they survive again this almost constant Rangers pressure in the opening 10.5 minutes, but Rangers haven't found a way through yet. It remains Rangers 0, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, it was good defending by Lang. It wasn't it, Stephen, when he threw himself in the front of the shot and managed to block it, and it went behind for a corner. I can't believe Rangers didn't put the ball in the box actually from the resultant set piece. So I think that anything that's gone in the box so far has looked quite dangerous.
It's Goldson back in his own half, out to Barisic, who's seen plenty of the ball early on, and here he is crossing the halfway line, plays it for Sakala on the touchline, back to Barisic, looking for Sakala once more, but Tom Lang came across to cut that one out and knock it long over the halfway line. McGregor out of his goal to play it to Goldson, just inside Raith Rovers territory. Here's Cantwell out to the right hand side for Tavernier. Tavernier cuts inside and then plays it back to Cantwell, still right hand side for Rangers, and it goes to Raskin midway inside the Raith Rovers half, out to the left now for Barisic. Barisic up against Connolly, who's having to do a lot of defending in these early stages. 1-2 between Kent and Cholak. Kent has it back on the angle of the box on the left hand side, looking to get it onto his right foot. Now it's Lundstrom, lines up the pass for Cantwell. Now it's Tavernier almost in the goal line, cuts it across and it's behind for another corner, and it just appears that it'll be a matter of time before Rangers eventually get the breakthrough here.
Yeah, it was good play again, working it from left to the right hand side. Then eventually the cross comes in low across the 6-yard box from James Tavernier, just looking for somebody to tap it in, but it was actually really good defending from Ryan Nolan, getting into that front post area and managing to turn it behind for the corner kick. But it's incessant pressure.
It really is. Barisic again over to the right-hand side. It's a good turnout, you'd have to say, from the visiting fans across in that far corner. A good few thousand here for this Scottish Cup tie. As Barisic does swing this one in, Goldson's at the back post. He wins the header, but it's straight into the arms of Jamie McDonald, who gratefully goes to ground, clutching the ball. 12.5 minutes gone, and it's still Rangers 0, Raith Rovers 0.
It's going to require something quite inventive, I think, for Rangers to get the breakthrough here. I think Raith are defending reasonably well. I think it's, as you said, it's just a matter of time. I think Rangers might break through, but you know, up to now, Rangers would be, Raith would be hoping to get to this stage in the match without having lost a goal, and they've managed to do that.
Rascan wins it in the middle of the park and finds Cantwell just inside the Rangers half. Back he goes to Tavernier. Out to Barisic in this near side, still well inside the Rangers half. Into Rascan it goes. Rangers playing almost a 4-3-1-2 formation. It seems to have worked well for them in the last couple of games, with Kent in a more central role than perhaps he's been used to prior to Michael Beale coming in, and Cholak and Sakala forming a partnership up front. Alfredo Morelos on the bench again this afternoon as Kent tries to get his way through, but Sam Stanton nips in and knocks it out of play. Quick throw in taken by Barisic back to Rascan. Left hand side infield for Lundstrom. Lundstrom onto Goldson, about 30 yards from goal, looks for options. One of them is Tavernier on the right hand side. Cantwell is the short option, and it's Goldson. Looks for Sakala, edge of the box, well challenged. Raith Rovers have won it back and try to play out, but Lundstrom picks up on that, tries to find Sakala. Again, Raith Rovers put bodies in the way. They get it clear, but Tavernier picks up right hand side. Ian Murray coming out to the edge of his technical area. I'm sure he'll be delighted that it's still goalless, but he would like to see his side a bit further up the park, I'm sure, as Barisic picks up left hand side. It's another ball into the box. Cantwell rises. He's beaten though by Dick, who gets it away out to the left hand side, and Easton knocks it clear, but again it's picked up by a Rangers player. This time it's Connor Goldson, short for Kent, who's just drifted out to the right hand side and plays it to Cantwell. Now it's Lundstrom midway inside the Raith Rovers half. Again, everyone behind the ball for Raith Rovers. Rascan loops it in, looking for Cantwell. He hits the deck under pressure from Liam Dick. No question of a foul in there, and it's gone behind for a goal kick to Raith Rovers as we approach the quarter of an hour mark, and it's still goalless.
Yeah, no chance of a penalty kick there. A few kind of voices from the stand behind the goal from Rangers looking for it, but there was nothing in it, and Rangers just need to be patient. You know, they're probing so much, they've got so much of the ball, and then just on that occasion they kind of threw a ball into the box, a more hopeful ball than anything else. Just keep it and wait for your opening to come. But for Raith Rovers, they just can't keep the ball. I mean, every time they do get the ball back, they either launch it long and it goes straight to a Rangers player, or when they do have possession of it, and they've only had that on a couple of occasions in the middle of the pitch, 3 passes and it's back to Rangers. So I mean, they're not helping themselves.
Yeah, I mean, ordinarily, certainly in the Championship, they play a lot of good possession football. They have got players in that side who are capable technically of taking care of the ball, Craig, but they're just not able to do it against, I guess, a much higher standard of opposition.
Yeah, when they win the ball back, all their players are behind them. They're behind the person that wins the ball back. So that sometimes you have to make 2 or 3 passes just to allow the team to calm down a little bit, but they're panicking a little bit when they do get the ball.
Here's Kent. Lundstrom. James Tavernier, about 30 yards from goal, plays it out to the left-hand side for Barisic. Takes a touch. Out comes Connolly to try and close him down. Still Barisic has it. There's a short ball for Kent on the edge of the box. Challenge there, and fairly so. Reckon John Beaton, then Gonzalez is taken down. That will be a free kick to Raith Rovers, and that'll just allow them to get some players up the park and just get a breather, because they are having to work ever so hard off the ball right now.
They are. I mean, I felt as though it looked as though it could have been a free kick for Ryan Kent just at the edge of the box, but John Beaton waved it by, and then it goes to Isma Gonçalves. He manages to do quite well, kind of keeps the ball for 2 or 3 seconds, draws a foul, and it just gives Raith Rovers a wee breather. See how long they can keep the ball now.
Tom Lang taking his time over the free kick, 15 yards or so inside his own half, as Raith Rovers look to try and create something of their own. They've had one what you might call a half chance. It was Esma Gonzalez who tried his luck from inside his own half, and he wasn't too far away as Rangers win the free kick over on the far side for a challenge on Todd Cantwell, which leaves the midfielder writhing on the ground. It'll only be a free kick. Michael Beale out on the edge of his technical area. I mean, I guess he'll be pleased enough with the way his side are dominating, but clearly we'll be looking for the opening goal sooner rather than later.
100%. Yeah, I mean, in terms of their passing, yeah, it's been good. Can they up the tempo a wee bit more? It's very difficult when you're playing against a team with, a 4-5-1 or even a 4-6, if you like, at times, and they're so deep. It does take something inventive to be able to break through them, and so far they've managed to create 2 or 3 chances, but more often than not, Raith Rovers are managing to defend it.
Cantwell was looking for a free kick again. I think most of the crowd were as well, but again, John Beaton didn't see anything wrong with the challenge, and so play continues, and it's out now on the left-hand side with Borna Barisic. Up against Connolly again, swings it in, Jamie McDonald's stretching, and he manages to get a glove to it. Comes to Tavernier. Oh, Jamie McDonald's down, and play will be stopped before Rangers can continue. He's stretching every sinew to get a left glove to that cross from Barisic, and he managed to do so. Now he's stayed down, and the play has been stopped. It might be quite intelligent play from Jamie McDonald to just stay on the deck after that, and John Beaton almost forced to bring play to a halt to allow potential treatment for the keeper, but it was good goalkeeping to claw that one away.
Yeah, Fashion Sakala, I think, was the one who went in to try and head the ball home, but Jamie did really well. I said there was a coming together. I don't think it was a free kick, but generally the goalkeepers do get a free kick in that situation. And also Jamie's using his experience here. He's been sitting on the ground there for the last minute or so, just trying to buy himself a little bit of time.
The ball in again, though.
It was a quality ball.
The ball in. I mean, Barisic's delivery in this opening 19 minutes has been superb. Into a really dangerous area. It was brave from Jamie McDonald coming for it, but he was clattered into by Sakala.
Won the Scottish Cup with Hearts in 2012, a runner-up with Queen of the South against Rangers in 2008, and again with Falkirk in 2015. Plenty of Scottish Cup experience for Jamie McDonald, who made his 500th career appearance just a couple of games ago. Saved a penalty in that game we covered live against Ayr United, and yeah, he's been around and still a very good goalkeeper at 36 years of age. Here's Goldson on the edge of the centre circle coming forward as Rangers continue to look for a breakthrough. 20 minutes in, still they haven't found it, and it's clever play there on the far side by Ryan Nolan, just allowing the ball to go through and behind for a goal kick. And it has been, I mentioned it earlier on, Rangers on the road against teams who come out and attack them have found it actually relatively simple to break them down. But when it comes to even home games where opposition sides are sitting in and not allowing them the space, it's much more difficult for them.
I do think that Rangers' problem at this minute in time is they need to speed their passing up. And when I'm talking about speeding the pass up, I don't just mean round about the opposing. I don't mean round about the penalty box. What I mean is the quicker they play in general in other areas of the field, the quicker they can isolate players to get crosses in the box like Barisic. I think they need to speed their game up altogether, not just round about the penalty box.
Here's John Lundstrom inside his own half, coming forward down the right-hand side, plays it to Tavernier. Tavernier now inside Raith Rovers territory, back for Lundstrom. Coming forward and looking to try and create something. It's Ryan Kent for Raskin, and now Ben Davies joins in the attack. About 30 yards from goal, short ball to Cholak, who we barely mentioned as he's well challenged there on the edge of the box. But it does break for Davies, back out to Barisic, left-hand side, about 10 yards from the goal line. Now it's Kent taking over on the angle, tries to go past Stanton, he hits the deck. I think he's fortunate to get the free kick there. Sam Stanton, I'm not sure how much contact he made with Ryan Kent, who threw himself to the ground, does get the free kick almost on the angle of the box on the left-hand side. What was your take, Stephen Thompson?
Yeah, I think it's just his knee goes into the side of Ryan Kent's thigh. I do think it's a foul. I think John Beaton was under pressure to give it, having not given the last 2 or 3. And the fans were certainly on his case there, and it's going to be Barisic on this left-hand side to deliver it.
Yeah, 2-man wall just inside the penalty area. It's a few yards left of the penalty boxes. Barisic does send it in. It's headed away initially by McBride, picked up by Kent, back to Tavernier, about 35 yards from goal, spreads out to the right hand side for Cantwell, midway inside the first half. No goals yet as Cantwell finds Sakala. I'm not sure that's who he's aiming for. He goes down, throws himself to the ground, and that should be a yellow card in my view.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, he lost control of the ball and then he just throws himself to the ground. It's a dive, and John Beaton should produce a yellow card here.
The play has now stopped. It initially didn't stop because Jamie McDonald has simply collected the ball as Sakala went down. There was a couple of Raith Rovers players about him there, and he just hit the deck under no real pressure, and pretty fortunate Craig Levine to get away without a booking there.
It should be a booking, it's as simple as that. I mean, he's lost control of the ball, he's then thrown himself to the ground deliberately. For me, it's a booking all day long.
It's just a drop ball in the end, as I say, play hadn't actually stopped. But Sakala gets away with one there, and a bit better control certainly, and he could have been in. But I guess that's the thing about Fashion Sakala. Sometimes he can frustrate the Rangers fans, but at other times he can absolutely delight them with some of his attacking play.
Yeah, I mean, he is very raw, but you know, midweek against Hibernian was as good as I've seen him play in a Rangers jersey. I thought he was absolutely brilliant, but he's finding his first touch. It isn't quite, you know, where it was against Hibernian this afternoon.
Here's Kent, left-hand side, running at the Raith Rovers backline, just forgets to take the ball with him, but picked up by Raskin about 35 yards from goal. Now it's Lundstrom for Cantwell, into the feet of Sakala just outside the box. Again, he can't bring it under control. Hacked away by Adam Masson, and that might just drift behind for a corner. He rather sliced his clearance, the teenage fullback.
And the thing about Sakala is when the ball's in front of him and he's got space to run, that's when he's most dangerous. Here he's been asked to take the ball into feet in tight areas round about the edge of the box, and he's not that type of player. He's not got that cuteness to be able to see things and pop things off. He needs everything in front of him, and it's not really suiting him playing where he is just now.
24 minutes played. Rangers 0, Raith Rovers 0. Rangers corner over on the far side. The Rangers right to be taken by the left-footed Borna Barisic. As Rangers look for a breakthrough that you would probably argue that their dominance of the play deserves, but the corner kick's cleared away by Gonzalez, who's back inside his own penalty area, helping his defence out. Ian Murray just trying to wave his players forward, but it's difficult to get out when Rangers are coming at you in waves. Here's Cantwell, left-hand side into the feet of Sakala, back for Lundstrom, midway inside the Raith Rovers half, left of centre. Lundstrom comes forward, plays it short to Barisic, left-hand side. Barisic looking for a potential pass, tries to take on Connolly now. Connolly trying to stick with him, still it's Barisic, back into Sakala. Sakala looked to lay it off to Lundstrom. It was a good foot in there at the edge of the box from McBride. It was a really important intervention from Conor McBride, and Raith Rovers have got themselves a free kick just outside their own penalty area. We've got to the 25-minute mark and it's still goalless.
Yeah, and again, Rangers, they're not moving the ball quick enough, and Sakala could have played a one-touch pass there rather than taking a touch and then trying to feed the ball. But they need to be quicker, though, and I mean, they sort of settled into a bit of drudgery, if you want to call it that. There's not an awful lot happening in Rangers' attacking sense just now.
It's a bit of defending Rangers have to do just for the moment as the ball's knocked long. Barisic hooks it over his head, Kent heads it down, and then Rangers get it out to Tavernier on the far side, midway inside their own half. Now it's Golson, plays it short to Lundstrom inside the centre circle, out it comes to Barisic. Barisic will give chase, across comes Masson, cuts that one out, plays it off Barisic, and it will be a Raith Rovers throw in. As I mentioned, they won the last time they visited here in the Scottish Cup back in 2015. Christian Nadi were the winner on that occasion, and you get very, very long odds against a similar result this afternoon, but they've certainly stuck to their task so far, frustrating Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, the defensive side of the game has been, you know, Ian Murray will be happy with that, but it's very difficult to see where they're going to get a goal from. You know, the one chance they've had was Isma's effort from 60 yards away. Apart from that, they've not actually been in Rangers' final third, I don't think, at all, with any kind of controlled possession. Good
bit of defending across there by Spencer. Rangers have won it back. Swept out of play for a Rangers throw on the far side. It's Todd Cantwell taking it quickly to Lundstrom. He's quickly closed down by McBride, who's having a good game actually, doing again like his teammates, more defending than attacking, certainly more of an attacking player you would say, but doing his bit for the side. But here's Barisic, left hand side of the penalty area, up towards the edge of the box. Now it's Kent, back to Goldson. Kent once more, he's got Barisic outside of him, flicks it out to the Croatian, back onto the right foot this time, sends it in. Sakala can't reach it, comes off the head of Nolan. Yet another Rangers corner over on the far side as they search for a breakthrough goal, which might just begin to open Raith Rovers up. But at the moment, Raith Rovers are well organised. The corner kick comes to nothing, but Cantwell will pick up once more as a Raith Rovers player down. But there's no reason that the play should be halted here. Well, John Beaton has stopped play, and it's not a head knock, and it's not a free kick. So why is he stopping play?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think because the player, I can't actually see who it is in quite a lot of distress. I think that's probably what it is. It looks like he's caught the top of his foot, but he immediately had his hand up and writhing in pain. Yeah, but you're right, technically the Rangers didn't have to stop the play. He seems to be getting up to his feet again now. I mean, I thought he was coming off the pitch as soon as it happened, but a miraculous recovery.
Yeah, without any treatment, and looked like it might just have been a bit of
slight overreaction, shall we say.
Yeah, a bit of time wasting really, which Raith Rovers are going to have to do. I mean, let's be honest, you know, as the huge underdog coming here, they're going to waste time where they can. They might try and buy a few seconds. I mean, there's clearly a little bit of discomfort there for Conor McBride, but he's limping, but he's back up on his feet as Barisic picks up left hand side, well challenged by Stanton. Forward for Gonzalez, just inside his own half, brings it over the halfway line, well challenged by Davies though. Now Raskin has it, knocks it back to Davies, who plays it back to his goalkeeper Alan McGregor, who had that little flutter inside the opening couple of minutes when Esma Gonzalez tried to beat him from inside his own half, but when he saw that one drift wide, since then he's had very little to do. Here's Raskin sliding it forward for Sakala. Looked like it might have been a handball there from Tom Lang as the ball broke up off the turf. Nothing given, no, just in the edge of the penalty area. Lundstrom picks up the loose ball and finds Goldson, edge of the centre circle. Raskin now allows Kent to take over, 30 yards from goal, tries the little shimmy that he loves to use on the edge of the penalty area. Now it's Barisic, sends out into the 6 yard box, again McDonald comes, again he gets a good punch to it, comes to Goldson, 25 yards out, right hand side, again there's a Raith Rovers player down, and again
it's a head knock this time though.
Yeah,
I think Jamie McDonald, when he comes to try and punch that cross from Barisic, actually punched his own player in the head. I can't actually see who it is that's on the ground, but a head knock, the play's got to be stopped instantly.
I think it's Lang.
Yeah, it's Tom Lang. There's a replay you can see just now.
Yeah, Jamie's caught him with his elbow, I think, actually, as he tried to punch the ball clear.
Yeah, and so in that instance, John Beaton's absolutely correct to stop play immediately, as Tom Lang does require some treatment. He's been a key player for Raith Rovers since he's come back from a second bad knee injury, but very much first pick at the heart of the defence alongside Ryan Nolan these days.
On a couple of occasions, sorry, I have to interject, when the ball has gone up to Isma Gonzalez and the few occasions they've managed to find him, he's got to do more, he's got to do better to secure the ball. He's tried to run a couple of times, taken off, the other one came up, he doesn't secure it with his first touch, it's taken off him, and because his teammates are so far away from him, they can't get up the pitch either. He's got a really important role, and so far he's not been doing as well as he could do in terms of holding the ball and linking the play when he does get it, which is not very often.
Sorry, Craig.
Yeah, so I just want to make the point that Raith Rovers' best chance of scoring is for him to do the same thing again.
I mean, a shot from 50 yards.
Yeah, I really believe that. That's the best chance.
Glanced across goal there by Lundstrom, and it's a goal kick as Raskin sent it into the penalty area. Lundstrom got,
I think it was Cholak, was it not?
Slightest touch on it. Well, it's certainly been glanced behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it's Cholak.
Cholak comes just before Lundstrom.
It's a good chance. It's a good chance.
Yeah.
The ball into the box. He's found himself with a bit of space round about the penalty spot. Should be getting that on target. Again, just glances it and it goes past Jamie McDonald.
31
right hand post.
31 minutes, Tomo, since the start of the game, and that's the first time I can recall us talking about Cholak.
I know. I mean, a lot of times that I've watched him, he doesn't get involved in a lot of the build-up play, but you can't argue with his goals return this season.
No, but he's not had any opportunities at all.
No.
The ball's, I don't think he's had the ball in the box at all. I don't think he's touched it.
Yeah, that was certainly a half chance as the ball came into the penalty area. Just get the slightest nick on the header. Here he is, challenged there by Nolan, who's recovered from the head knock and back on to prevent Cholak getting anything at the edge of the penalty area. Here's Tavernier about 30 yards from goal. Sakala out to the right hand side makes a move, but it's Lundstrom who takes over and then finds Sakala and gets it back from him. Now Goldson, 32.5 played, no goals at Ibrox. Rascal for Kent, 30 yards out, little step over, it's good play from Kent, then slips it to Barisic right on the goal line. Barisic stands up to the back post, Sakala will leap, looks it back to Lundstrom on the volley, just over the top from John Lundstrom. And again, Rangers' quest for the opening goal goes on in vain as Conor McBride goes down, I think still being troubled by the knock he took about 5 minutes ago, and he might well I was going to say might need treatment, but he's just got back to his feet. It looks like he might just be struggling a little bit.
He was in a lot of pain when the incident did happen. Another good ball in from Barisic on the left-hand side again, this time deeper. Sakala does really well to get up, nods it down to the edge of the box. Lundstrom, his first touch pops it way up in the air, so he's only really left with the volley as an option, but he caught it well. He caught it well just past the post. Yeah,
it's a difficult technique, certainly. Had to try and get over it and unable to just keep it down as Gonzalez takes a poor touch again, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, it's so vital to what Raith Rovers need, is him to be able to secure that ball, and unfortunately for him, my old teammate, he's not doing his job just now.
Raskant for Goldson, right hand side is Tavernier just at the edge of the box, clips in. Cholak well challenged again by Tom Lang, and it will be a Rangers corner, but Lang is marshalling Cholak really well, and it was another important intervention there from the centre back.
Yeah, it was an excellent defensive header. He's matched the run by Cholak at the front post. He's made contact with him and managed to get in front of him to head the ball behind.
He was actually a youth player here, Tom Lang. I don't think he made any senior appearances, certainly, but came through the youth academy before largely playing in the lower leagues. But as I say, he's become a very important player for Raith Rovers as they look to defend again against the Barisic corner. It's a Raith Rovers head that gets first to it, comes out to the left-hand side for Kent. Kent will send it quickly back in. Cholak gets a head to it. His jersey was being pulled there. Lang taking a chance against him on that occasion inside the box. Masson knocks it clear out for a throw-in to be taken this left-hand side by John Lundstrom. We've got 10 minutes till the break, and still it's goalless at Ibrox in the third of the 4 Scottish Cup quarter-final ties that are taking place over the course of the weekend. As Tavernier knocks it back to Cantwell. Raskan now, every single Rangers player well inside the Raith Rovers half, barring the goalkeeper. Here's Sakala, edge of the box, goes for goal. It's blocked there by Nolan, and then Spencer picks up, and it's out to the left-hand side for Liam Dick. Knocks it down the line, it's over the head of Gonzalez, doesn't give his striker any opportunity there to keep a hold of the ball. I mean, the possession stats would be absolutely frightening right now.
Yeah, I'll just have a wee look on my phone for you and see if I can get them. But yeah, I mean, Raith Rovers, their big problem is when they do win the ball back, they give it straight back to Rangers. It's another attack. But so far, they're managing to defend quite well. 60-40?
Absolutely no chance, is that right? Is it? I mean, that can't possibly be right.
No.
That can't be right.
No way.
Right. Let me look. I should try and find it.
Raskant midway inside the Raith Rovers half, sends it in, it's over Cholak, comes back to Cholak though, he can't get the shot away again. It's great defending in there as Raith Rovers just keep putting bodies on the line, and they are really sticking to their task at the back under some serious pressure, albeit Rangers haven't really been able to carve out what you might call a golden opportunity. It's been half chances, if anything. Here's Ryan Kent trying to change all that on the angle of the box on the left hand side. Back to Lundstrom it goes. Tries to slip it through for Sakala. Again, though, Raith Rovers defend it well, and here comes Gonsalves looking to try and take on Ben Davies, but Davies is quick enough to get turned and knock it back to Alan McGregor, and Rangers will begin again.
Remarkably on Sky as well as BBC, it's 60-40. I don't know where this 40 has come from. I honestly can't fathom that.
It's not behind for another Rangers corner by Liam Dick. I think they're clearly using the same source for their stats, but I mean, That doesn't seem like, to the naked eye, it doesn't seem correct, does it?
It's not possible. It isn't possible. Oh dear. Well, it must be right if it's coming from the same place.
Well, anyway, Rangers have been unable to turn their 60% possession into goals, that's for sure. With 8 minutes left of the first half, they have been virtually camped inside the Raith Rovers defensive third as the corner kick's taken short. It's Raskan back to Kent, who dummies it for Barisic. Barasic's right hand side makes a bit of a hash of that, but does get it back to Raskan, who'll send the cross in. It's too deep though, and all the way through and behind for a Raith Rovers goal kick, and Ian Murray will be desperately hoping he can get to half time with the scoreline blank.
It will be, and it would be a great marker for them to be able to go in at half time and for him to be able to sit the lads down. I mean, they're not going to score in this game as far as I can see, so it's all about can they take it into extra time and maybe penalty kicks if they can keep Rangers out. But it's difficult to do that over a 90-minute period, but 45 would be good for them to get in, certainly with a clean sheet, and then they can build on that. But the concentration levels that are needed to do it over a 90-minute period are immense. Yeah, it'd be absolutely remarkable if they could do that. They have only been beaten once in the last 15 games, and that was in the last game against Partick Thistle, a 3-0 defeat, winning 5 outright in that period, as well as winning 2 penalty shootouts and drawing 7. It's those 7 draws largely that have meant they haven't really looked like ever getting into the playoff positions in that excellent run, you'd have to say, without a defeat, but probably going to have to settle for mid-table this season in the Championship, although you never can be quite sure in that league. It always is a fascinating battle at both ends. Here's Ryan Kent up to the edge of the box on the right foot, goes for goal, way off target from Ryan Kent. That's really poor from 22 yards, well off target.
Yeah, I think Raith had 5 players in the Rangers half there, and that what resembled an attack.
But they didn't really get into the box, though, did they?
No, they didn't.
I mean, Rangers, that's a shot from distance. It's one thing that they haven't done so far in the game. They're working it wide, trying to get balls into the box. When they do try and go through centrally, there's so many bodies, it's very difficult. We've seen it break down with Sakala. So they're right to try a shot from the edge of the box there, Ryan Kent, but unfortunately for him, he got right underneath it.
Here's Connolly for Raith Rovers, just inside his own half, as they look to try and keep possession for a period, and they managed to do so. Stanton, though, gets a break of the ball, actually. And it's Spencer up for Gonsalves, edge of the penalty area. Little back heel for McBride. McBride left hand side of the box, cuts it back. Lundstrom's in the way and sends it clear as Raith Rovers threaten for really the first time in the game, barring that long range effort from Gonsalves inside the first couple of minutes. But for the first time, Rangers having to defend inside the penalty area and eventually managing to do so.
Yeah, some good play by Raith Rovers there in the Rangers half, and I thought Gonsalves was going to shift it onto his right foot.
I thought he should have shot.
Yeah, I thought so as well. He tried the back heel and didn't quite work out for him, but that's better, and it was good football.
Here they are, left hand side, the throw in, back to Dick it goes. Stanton, robbed though by Cantwell. Sakala gets it to Lundstrom, pass for Kent, he just has to wait on it. He was just dragged back there by Connolly, and it's the first yellow card shown by John Beaton for the slight pull there on Ryan Kent.
Yeah, it was a yellow card for the slight pull, but he also kicked the ball away. How stupid was he? I mean, he could have got 2 yellow cards there.
Here's Cantwell, 25 yards out, right hand side, slips out to Tavernier. He curls one in towards the back post, and Lang was there under no great pressure, but he does head over his own crossbar, and it will be another Rangers corner. They're mounting up, but they haven't been able to turn any of them into goals as yet, with 4 minutes left of the first period.
He did the right thing, Lang, because when you're unsure of your surroundings, just clear the ball. He put it high over his own bar.
Barisic from the left hand side this time, swings it towards the back post. Golson meets it, goal for Connor Golson. That is what you call an emphatic header at the back post. He met it so sweetly with the forehead, and at last Raith Rovers' resistance is broken. Barisic's corner. The Golson header from 10 yards out. McDonald couldn't reach it. It's Rangers 1, Raith Rovers 0.
Again, it's the Barisic delivery. It's superb. Golson at the back post. He's up very, very early. And it's a superb header right across the face of goal past Jamie McDonald. And you felt it might come from a set play. You know, they've been unable to break Raith Rovers down through open play. And if it's going to come from anybody, it's going to come from a Barisic delivery. It's a good header from Golson, and it's so disappointing for Raith, Craig, just before half-time, as we were saying.
Yeah, if they managed to hold on, that's a great half-time team talk, isn't it? You know, there's evidence there that your game plan's working. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for Rangers, and let's not kid ourselves, Rangers deserve to be in front. I mean, you know, they've had 60% possession, Phil.
They've certainly been the dominant team.
Here they come again after Connor Golson's third goal of the season. It's Barisic once more looking to provide again. It's Sakala at the back post trying to force it back across goal. The angle was too tight though, and he's knocked it behind for a goal kick. It's 2.5 minutes until the break plus any stoppage time, and at last Rangers' persistence pays off. And as you say, Tom, it's really no surprise that the assist comes from Borna Barisic.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have a guess. I reckon he's put in a dozen in this first half. Deliveries down this left-hand side, all very good. But Craig's right to point out, as he did earlier, they've got to stop that at source. He's getting too much space, and they're trying to play quite narrow at times with the back four, not allowing things. Not allowing things through them. So when the ball does go wide, they're not able to get out and engage before Barisic can lift his head and put it in, and it's too easy.
There's McBride into the feet of Gonzalez, trying to link with Easton, but Rangers mop that up, and it's back with McGregor, who's had very few touches in this first period. Tavernier now leaves it for Cantwell, just crossing the halfway line, spreads play out to the Rangers left. Barisic will gather about 20 yards from goal. First time ball for Kent. Kent will keep that in and stand up to the back post. Sakala arriving, can't quite get there, and Dick gets a crucial touch to it to just knock it away, and it's out for a throw-in over on the far side. That was a good move from Rangers. Quick flowing football. Now it's Cantwell picking up, knocks out to Raskin. Raskin about 30 yards from goal, back out to Barisic left hand side, plays it short back to Raskin. Now Davies midway inside the Raith Rovers half. Golson takes over. Cantwell now 30 yards out into the box. Cholak's header again. You could argue he could do better as he glances one wide of Jamie McDonald's right hand post in the final minute of the first 45. It's Rangers 1, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, a good movement by Cholak. He managed to get across the front of his defender, and probably should hit the target from that area. I know he had to stoop to get the header.
Very similar to the one previously.
Yes, it was.
They had very similar area and outcome. But you're right, the movement's good to get away from the centre half, but then you've got to get that on target.
Jamie McDonald takes the goal kick as half-time approaches. Rangers with a narrow lead, but a lead as you say, Craig, they will feel they deserve going in at the break. Here's Kent, left-hand side up against Connolly. He'll just have to be careful now that he's on a booking. Back it goes to Raskin, but 25 yards out, clips it into the area. It's won by Nolan ahead of Sakala. 2 minutes to be added on at the end of the first period as Dick knocks it clear down the left-hand side for Raith Rovers. Golson steps in and gets it back from Cantwell. Foot in there from Spencer, but Rangers keep possession. And it's Davies on the halfway line, plays it short for Raskin inside the centre circle, gets turned and looks ahead and plays it square to Golson. Now Cantwell for Rangers, just right of centre, approaches the edge of the penalty area. 1-2 with Cholak. Cantwell away from his marker, tries to lay it off for Cholak again. It's a good challenge by Liam Dick, a really important one. Breaks though for Golson, who knocks out to Tavernier. Into the box it comes. Cholak trying the acrobatic volley, doesn't come off, and Raith Rovers will try and work it clear down the left hand side, and it's Dick who just hammers it over the halfway line, over Gonzalez, and across goes Davies, and will keep that one in. Right hand side for Rangers. Lundstrom just inside his own half, plays it short for Cantwell as Rangers look to lengthen their lead just before the interval. 1-0 it stands as Golson picks up the goal scorer. Out to the left for Barisic, and now Kent at the angle of the box once more, looking to take on Connolly. Barisic almost at the goal line, knocks it back for Raskan. Can Rangers find a second before half-time? Raskan plays it square for Davies. Davies 25 yards out, short ball for Cantwell on the angle of the box. Now Tavernier inside the penalty area, plays it for Sakala. It might break for Cholak, but it's not behind for perhaps a final Rangers corner of the first half on that right-hand side, which James Tavernier will go across and take. And Rangers threatening once more, just can't find the finishing touch as Tavernier sweeps it in right-footed to the edge of the 6-yard box. A clash of heads in there, and it's a free kick actually for Raith Rovers right in the edge of their 6-yard box. That'll be pretty much that for the first half. In fact, there goes John Beaton's half-time whistle. It was a first half that has been almost entirely dominated by the home side, but inside the opening couple of minutes we could have had a shock lead for the visitors, as there was a really slack pass by Connor Golson which was straight to Esma Gonzalez on the edge of the centre circle, I think more or less inside his own half, but he looked up as the ball bounced to him and saw that Alan McGregor was on the edge of his penalty area, and he just lashed the ball on the bounce towards the Rangers goal, and for all the world it looked like it might well end up in the back of the net with Alan McGregor well out of position. But fortunately for the Rangers keeper and for Connor Goldson, it drifted wide of McGregor's left-hand post, and he and the vast majority of the Ibrox crowd breathed a sigh of relief. From that moment on, though, it really was wave after wave of Rangers attack. James Tavernier had an early effort really well saved by Jamie McDonald, who is by far and away the busier keeper, as you would probably expect in this Scottish Cup quarter-final tie. However, he wasn't really forced into too much other than a couple of clawing away of Barisic crosses. Barisic was a really good outlet for Rangers in the first period, but in all honesty Rangers were limited to shots from distance that were charged down, and they couldn't really unlock that Raith Rovers well-organised defence as they sat deep and frustrated Rangers for almost the entirety of that first period. But eventually, on 42 minutes, Barisic sent in a corner kick from the left-hand side, and Connor Goldson, rising at the back post, powered a header back across goal and past Jamie McDonald, which does give Rangers the half-time advantage. But Stephen Thompson, it has been wave after wave, as I say, of Rangers attack, and really they would feel they should be further ahead and out of sight.
Yeah, due to the amount of possession that they've had in good areas as well, though they haven't created that many really big chances. I can think of a couple of headers for Cholak that he probably should have done better with, a couple other kind of scrappy efforts, but there's a good save, you're right, from Tavernier, from Jamie McDonald. Apart from that, yes, they've huffed and puffed, but largely Raith Rovers have dealt with whatever's been thrown at them quite well. The problem Raith Rovers have is that they don't look like they can score a goal, and they can't get up the pitch with any controlled possession. So I wonder whether Ian Murray will change that as we look into the second half. Maybe wait, say 10-15 minutes and then be a bit more adventurous in terms of the way that his team are attacking, because you just can't see them scoring a goal. Yeah, Craig, I mean, the game plan has by and large worked for the Raith Rovers, and even at 1-0 down, as Stephen says, he probably won't change just yet, but you know, at what point, if he can keep it at 1-0, at what point does he then say, right, we have to go for this? Well, that's purely his choice, isn't it? It depends how long he thinks they might need. It might only be the last 10 minutes that he decides to stick two up front and just go long and try and change the way the game's been played to see if they can take advantage of the back line, the Rangers back line. But I think if you'd said to Ian Murray 1-0 down at half time at Ibrox and at this stage of the cup competition, I think he would have taken that. And I think they've defended manfully. They've thrown themselves in front of things. I mean, Sakala's had a couple of half chances with headers in that first half as well as Cholak. So yeah, the Rangers have had chances and they have dominated the match, but when it's goals that count, isn't it? And at 1-0, I think that Ian will be quite happy, and I think they'll leave it for a fair stretch of time in the second half, because all they need is one goal to get themselves back in the game. If they open up too early, they could easily lose
2 or 3 very quick goals. So I think it'll be late on if they do manage to keep it at 1-0. It'll be late on before he makes an attempt to try and win the game, or to get back into the game.
Yeah. Well, as you'll see in the second period, of course, we will have live coverage of the second period from Ibrox as Rangers look to continue the defence of their Scottish Cup crown. But just for now, we will take a look back and hear some reaction from the other action that we have brought you over the course of the weekend.
The Scottish Cup.
This is the chance they've been waiting for. Cross goal comes, must be it.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland. Marking 100 years of our BBC in Scotland.
What sporting successes from this country should we celebrate?
I mean, maybe we should look at our swimming heritage. I think very, very good. I mean, remember Hercules the Bear?
Well, I would definitely go with Andy Murray. I mean, he got a hip operation, a hip replacement, and 10 months later, he won a major title. My gran got a hip replacement. And I said to her, see what you could achieve if you put your mind to it.
Join me, Des Clark, for breaking 100 years of the news. Watch on iPlayer, listen on BBC Sounds.
The Scottish Cup.
Away only as far as Welsh, who does go for goal. Finds it. It slips under the keeper. And Cali Thistle will come from a goal down to lead the Scottish Cup quarter-final. It's mayhem in the Highlands.
The biggest reason we lost it was the team who wanted to win it more won it. We're disappointed with our level of performance tonight. We deserved exactly what we got. I'm embarrassed with the performance. I think the players are embarrassed with that, and we should be. We're better than what we showed tonight, and we have now just got to focus all our energy into staying in the league.
I trusted my players tonight. We're the better team. I actually stood back and just enjoyed my players' performance. It's just good to let these boys, for probably the first time in their career, get to a semi-final. It's a great day for the club because a lot of them haven't been in this situation before. I want them to enjoy it, and they certainly have.
Boy, McGregor, Hatate, Jota and Haksabanovic up there with Kyogo. Here comes Jota into the area. Goal, Boy! Aaron Boy from 8 yards out smashes it past Sander Clark, and it's the dream start for the cup favourites, the League Cup winners, and the Scottish champions hit the frontier at Tynecastle inside 2 minutes. Aaron Boy smashing it home, and it's Heart of Midlothian 0, Celtic 1.
To lose a goal early really hit us, but I thought the fans were outstanding.
We started the game well. We thought it was important today. If playing at Tynecastle, it's a cup game. There's so much on the line. You know, you need to sort of get a grip of the game early.
The Corgi Ultras kept the intensity about the place, and we actually got a foothold back in the game. We started to recover.
I did have a period, sort of, 10-minute period, probably because we just got a bit sloppy with the ball and tried to put up a good save. But I still felt like we were in control of the game. I mean, the second goal obviously does help that for sure, but I still felt like, second half, traditionally we always finish strong anyway. So if we had gone in 1-0, I was still pretty pleased with the first 45, but the second goal kind of really gives us a boost.
Right angle in the box, pokes it back to Johnston, fires it across. What a goal! Kyogo applauds Alistair Johnston because it was his work, but the little nonchalant flick from Celtic's top scorer was outstanding as well. And just when Hearts thought they were getting to the interval, just one down, Celtic strike again. Kyogo Furuhashi strikes again. He's up to 26 for the season, and it is Hearts 0, Celtic 2, and Celtic have 1 foot now in the semis.
To lose a goal right before half-time is a real blow for us. Again, a poor set-up. We didn't react quickly enough, and a simple task for Kyle to score.
Jota and O'Reilly. Jota might fancy a go with the right foot here. It's actually going to be O'Reilly though. Dinks it in. Carter Vicker scores, and that will seal their place in the semis. The man who won the free kick in the first place, unchallenged, nods it past Sander Clark.
He's been outstanding from the moment we signed him, and he's a really great defender. It's not easy to play in our back four. You need to do a lot of one-on-one defending, and he's just, he's as strong as anyone going around. He just doesn't get beaten. He's got great awareness. He's a really intelligent footballer in terms of understanding the game and the areas that he needs to protect for us. And great for him to get his goal today, but he's been outstanding.
We lost the goal early and we managed to respond from that and recover, and we got ourselves back in the game. We had opportunities. Second half we came out and I thought we were a lot more front foot, but I did feel that probably 20 minutes to go, we ran out of steam a wee bit, to be honest, because we've asked a lot of the boys to play Wednesday night full 95 minutes and then to come and do it again. And when you play against Celtic, you've got to bring that energy, and we just didn't quite have it at the end. I think I said last week that we would have a couple back, but it wasn't to be today.
It's been an interesting week. We knew it would be a tough week this week because, you know, we had to go Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. You know, it wasn't even a 7-day, and 2 of them were away from home. So to come through it as we have, you know, playing some good football, scoring goals, and you know, getting the objectives done, it's been a good week. I thought the quality of our football early on was, you know, outstanding, and they got a good goal, probably could add another couple, and that sort of set our stall for the rest of the game. I thought we, for the most part, we controlled it.
Hearts are heading out, and Celtic, the favourites, are heading through to the last 4. It's Heart of Midlothian 0, Celtic 3. Just who can stop them?
The Scottish Cup.
And there is the full-time whistle. And we didn't get an indication of how much stoppage time was played at all there. I would have thought there would have been a bit of it, but Alan Muir, the referee, blows the whistle, and that is that at Cappielow. And it was not a classic by any means. A game with plenty of intent, with plenty of effort, endeavour, some really good defending at points, but neither side had the requisite quality to break the other down. And it means that Partick Thistle, the draw, will put them up to 3rd, although they've played a game more than Ayr United now. Morton stay 5th, and it doesn't help either greatly, but as Stephen Craigan said, a point away from home, another 4th game in 5 away from home for Chris Doolan as Partick Thistle manager, and he stays unbeaten. And it's finished here at Cappielow in the Scottish Championship. Greenock Morton 0, Partick Thistle now 0.
Chris, just give me your take on the match overall and whether a point's fair enough in the end.
Yeah, tough game as expected. You come Cappielow, it's always a tough game. We threw players on the pitch to try and win us a game. Later on we went to 2 up front and try and get us that goal because we wanted the 3 points. But you know, all in all, a point here is a good point. It's another clean sheet, which we're really happy with. But teams will come here and struggle, and we know that. We know from now at the end of the season that Morton will take points off clubs. So all in all, you know, a point's a good point for us.
This would be a great challenge for any young manager coming to Morton away, but for you with your 2 centre halves going off after by about 30-35 minutes? Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, all things considered, you know, having to shuffle things so quickly, a point's it's a good point. Yes, we tried to win the game, and we've got players and the depth of squad we have. But still, you don't want to have to shuffle things as quickly as that. But you know, the guys who came on, the 2 centre-backs that came on, Brownlee and Holt, were very assured. I thought they were very professional in the way they came on and went about things. But you don't expect to lose your 2 centre-backs so quickly. So it's testament to those 2 that they came in with the right attitude. But I think that's what the squad's all about, having good attitude, whether you start the game or you come on, because you can be asked to come on after a minute. And I think that's how you chip in, you do your part, and I thought the lads done that. Young McAvoy looks a cracking prospect. He's on loan, obviously. I saw him on crutches there. Do you know how bad the injury is? Is it a case where he's going to have to get scans? What's the latest? Yeah, he's going to have to go and be scanned for, I think it's his medial ligament that he's. We're hoping it's not as bad as first thought, but you know, you won't know these things until swelling settles down and they get it scanned. So he's a big player for us. You know, he's a real talent, and at a great age as well. So we'll look after him. We'll get him scanned this week, and we'll find out more then. So fingers crossed for him. For yourself and for the team, that's what under you 5 matches, 3 wins and 2 draws. That momentum keeps going. 11 points out of 15. Yeah, and that's the momentum's the key for me, because all the games are massive. We know that week in, week out. So having momentum is the best way to go into these games. Momentum gives you confidence, and I think you see that in the lads. You know, they're pushing and pushing and pushing to get the winner. They just couldn't carve open any of the Morton backline, but like I said, teams will come here and struggle. We know that. So Morton might end up taking points off other teams, and as long as we keep our momentum going and look after ourselves, then who knows where we can end up. I was saying to your counterpart, Dougie Emery, it's going to be one heck of a scrap. You guys, Morton and several other teams right in amongst it between now and the end of the season, all thinking they can go up. Yeah, and I think that's the way it'll be. You know, there'll be 4 or 5 teams possibly all there who think they should be in with a shout at the playoffs.
in this league, they probably are in a shout of the playoffs just because of the way the league is and the nature of it. But that's the beauty of having the playoffs. It gives so many teams a fighting chance all the way to the end of the season. But for us, we want to keep the momentum going. Delighted with another clean sheet at a real tough ground, and then we move on to Dundee now.
Good man, thanks for your time.
Cheers, thank you.
The Scottish Cup.
This is the chance they've been waiting for. Cross court comes, must be it.
Live on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Ibrox. Very timely as the players re-emerge from the half-time break, as Raith Rovers will look to try and somehow get our way back into the game. I see Lewis Vaughan is going to come on. I wonder if it's Conor McBride, who did pick up that first half injury. Don't see him out on the park, so that would be the obvious change for Lewis Vaughan, who's had plenty of injury problems of his own, well documented over the years. But he is on for the second period, where Raith Rovers will try and somehow get back into the game. And no changes for Rangers just yet. You would expect, Stephen, especially if Rangers can move maybe 2 or 3 goals ahead, you'd expect maybe to see Ridvan Yilmaz and John Souttar get some game time.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see John Souttar getting a bit of game time. It would be, he's been out for so long, and Yilmaz as well, but Barisic is actually having a really good game. I'd imagine Hadji as well needs minutes under his belt, so I think there will be changes, especially if Rangers can get a second goal.
We're back underway. John Beaton, the match referee. Rangers going from left to right in this second half as we look at it from the main stand. And Raith Rovers barely troubled Alan McGregor in the first half, beyond a worrying moment for him inside the first couple of minutes as Isma Gonzalez tried to catch him off his line from inside his own half. But that apart, it's been a pretty comfortable afternoon so far for the Rangers veteran keeper. There's Tavernier looking to lift one over the top for Kent, but it's well watched by Nolan. You'd expect the kind of one-way traffic element of the first half to continue largely in this second period. What could Raith Rovers do to try to alter that?
Well, I don't think they need to alter it right at this minute in time, and I think that he'll wait, as we said, just before half-time, or during half-time, sorry. I think he'll wait, and if they are fortunate enough to just be one behind as the game gets into the sort of dying embers, then I think he'll make changes then. I think, as I said, if they open up early on in this half, I think it could be there could be a landslide of goals.
Here's Raskan, edge of the penalty area. Cholak back to Kent, and now Goldson, the man who's got the only goal of the game so far. Now Tavernier up towards the edge of the penalty area. Cholak lays it back for Lundstrom. A couple of 1-2s. Raskan knocks out to Barisic. Good football from Rangers. Barisic cuts it back behind everyone. Cantwell comes onto it though on the right hand side. Tries a really extravagant outside of the right foot effort, which ends up way off target. And with just a couple of minutes of the second half gone, it's Rangers 1, Raith Rovers 0.
It was good play from Rangers. Intricate passing, 1-2s, worked it wide. The cutback comes all the way to Cantwell, and you're right, he goes with the outside of the right foot. He should have just hit it with his left.
Goal kick then to Raith Rovers. Vaughan just playing in that. He is wearing the number 10. He's pretty much playing in the 10 position in behind Gonzalez, although like Conor McBride before him, he will end up playing a lot deeper than a traditional 10, I guess.
He most definitely will out. Yeah, but it'd be nice to see him getting in touch with Isma Gonzalez more, because it's been a lonely afternoon for him.
Here comes Barisic, left hand side, blocked by Connolly. Comes back to Barisic about 20 yards from the goal line. Here's Raskan now, a young Belgian January signing, who with every game he plays looks to be more and more comfortable in that Rangers midfield. He and Cantwell have definitely made a difference for Rangers since coming into the side, as Cholak and Kent link up, and Kent just takes a heavy touch as he moves into the penalty area, and Raith Rovers work it clear. It's back from Connolly to Masson, who's done well in what must be, for an 18-year-old inexperienced fullback, quite a daunting experience, a daunting venue to come to, but so far certainly he's done pretty well as Cholak picks up midway inside Raith Rovers half. back to Davies. It goes at the edge of the centre circle. Forward he comes into Sakala, edge of the box, trying to keep possession. Knocks it back to Davies, out to the left-hand side to Barisic. Barisic has Raskin at close hand, and that's who he uses. Back with Barisic once more, right in the touchline over on the far side. The Rangers left. Plays a 1-2 with his compatriot Čolak. Now it's Lundstrom back with Barisic once more, 15 yards from the goal line, sends it in. It's Lang with the header inside his own 6-yard box. Connolly helps it on only as far as Lundstrom. Back with Barisic once more. I think he's had more touches than anyone else in the park in the game so far. Here's Goldson about 35 yards out, fairly central, out to Tavernier. Again, Raith Rovers keeping a really good shape, difficult to break down, difficult to play through. Rangers trying to work it. Maybe they could just lift the tempo that little notch to try and stretch Raith Rovers a bit more. Here's Tavernier, 25 yards out, right of centre, plays it out to Kent, who's on the right. Low ball into the near post, headed away by Lang, out for a Rangers throw-in. Still 1-0, 49 on the clock. The second Rangers goal, you would have to imagine, would be enough to ensure that their passage into the last four in a place at Hampden next month. Here's Raskin from distance, but it's well off target again from Raskin. And well, I guess Rangers with that 1-goal advantage, the frustration won't tend to build quite as much as if it was still goalless. But I guess they have to trust, Stephen, that what they're doing in terms of the build-up is the right way to continue.
Well, yeah, but they've got to, you know, up the intensity. For me, a lot of it's sideways and slow and predictable without any real penetration. And yeah, they're dominating the ball. They're not going to be asked questions defensively, but if they're looking to get this second goal, bearing in mind the first one came from a set play, then they're going to have to be a wee bit more inventive.
Stanton and Vaughan combining well, and Vaughan just knocked to the ground by Raskin. It'll be a Raith Rovers free kick about 15 yards inside the Rangers half, and this is an opportunity to throw Lang and Nolan forwards in this quest for an equaliser. Probably you would imagine, Craig, that a set piece would be their best bet of trying to break down the Rangers back line.
Yeah, a set piece or a shot from their own half, one of those two. But I think that Vaughan coming on will allow them to play a little bit better. I think he'll get closer to Gonçalves, and you know, I think he's got a really calm head, Vaughan, and he will take the ball in and will try and build the play for them.
That free kick comes to nothing though, because Goldson was pushed to the ground in John Beaton's view, and it's a Rangers free kick which has been taken. And here's Davies for Goldson, just inside the Rangers half. Now Davies once more plays it short for Raskin, who will look to try and build the play from the halfway line. Lundstrom just has to stretch to keep control of the ball, but does so well and gets it back from Cantwell. And now the goal scorer Goldson, 15 yards inside the Raith Rovers half, plays it square for Raskin. Raskin tries to thread it through for Čolak, who looked to lay it off for Kent, but that's cleared away by Raith Rovers, and Davies picks up once more just inside his own half, plays it short for Connor Goldson. 1-0 Rangers leads thanks to Goldson's late first half header. And Davies comes forward once more, central area for the home side. Cantwell into the feet of Sakala at the edge of the box, back with Tavernier, and then Cantwell once more, and then Tavernier again, and then Cantwell gets it back to Tavernier. Patient stuff. Čolak lays it off for Cantwell. Shooting opportunity, perhaps it could have taken on the left foot. Instead he tried to pass for Kent. I think what we've seen in the opening few minutes of this second period is that Cantwell certainly, if given the opportunity, doesn't really fancy taking the shot on with his left foot, as Tavernier seemed to foul Dylan Easton there, but nothing given. It's a throw into Rangers. Yeah, it looked like it opened up for Cantwell there, Stephen. He should have taken the shot on, should he?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of occasions when Rangers have had the ball at the edge of the box, but they're reluctant to get that shot in. They're trying to kind of intricately pass their way through this Raith Rovers defence. I'm not having much success doing that, so I think they probably should have a few more shots from distance. This is about their 100th corner of the game now.
Yeah, left-hand side. It's Borna Barisic preparing to take it, as his initial cross was cut out at the near post. Up he steps, the Croatian. Goldson again meets it, but he couldn't get the power on that header, and it's comfortably saved by Jamie McDonald. Goldson rising at the edge of the 6-yard box, but he was under significant pressure and couldn't really test the visiting goalkeeper, and it remains after 53 minutes, Rangers 1, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, I still believe though that Barisic is the best route to chances for me. I think that recently they've stopped giving them the ball as often as they did do in the first half. And sometimes players just do that and they decide to use a...
Yeah, here's Kent into the penalty area. His crosses all the way through. Liam Dick couldn't get a header on it. It's Tavernier, right hand side now, picks up. Lundstrom, edge of the box. Raskin quickly closed down by Stanton. Might still be able to find the room for the shot. Cantwell tries to get it back to Raskin, and the Rangers crowd kind of groan in unison because they just want the shot to be taken on by someone rather than, as you say, Stephen, almost trying to create this perfect goal. As Raith Rovers pick up possession, but not for long as Lundstrom wins it back and begins another Rangers attack going down the left channel. It's Barisic on the left hand side, plays it off Mass, and it will be another Rangers corner, but surely either Raskin or Cantwell again just needs to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I don't know what the thinking is there. I mean, I don't know if you get 2 goals for 3-1-2s inside the penalty box. I mean, just shoot.
He should have shot
12 yards out.
100%. They're trying to overplay it.
They are overplaying it, that's for sure. It's another Rangers corner, though, 101st, if Stephen's arithmetic is correct. As John Beaton just waits for the additional ball to be removed as Barisic prepares to take the corner from the left. It's Cholak rising and couldn't get a clean header on. Coming back to Tavernier, blocked it off the post and behind for yet another corner. Jamie McDonald was certainly beaten by the deflection, but fortunately for him and his Raith Rovers defence, it comes off the outside of his left-hand post, and it's another Rangers corner.
Again, though, from a set play, probably their best chance, certainly in this second half. It broke to Tavernier, he took a touch, hit it low. It was certainly going on target, and then it came off the defender's leg, and Jamie McDonald was pleased to see it hit the outside of the post. But 102nd corner now coming up.
Yeah, that's too much in terms of that gag, Stephen. It's just a delay here, and I just wonder if something's been checked. James Tavernier over the corner kick. There's no indication on the screen or elsewhere that we can see, and John Beaton is just standing rather motionless. It must be a check for potentially... Oh, is that coming together in the box here, Craig? You've got the best view of the monitor.
Yeah, it was Davies. I think he was barged in the back.
It says handball, actually. I was going to say, is it a handball? But that looked
that wasn't
a
handball, was it?
No, I don't think so, no. Yeah, it's a curious one. We didn't see anything first time round. No penalty. Play will continue with the corner kick for Rangers from the right-hand side, to be taken by the captain, James Tavernier. Sends it in to the 6-yard box. Sakala should have met that, but he completely missed his header, I think, altogether. It comes out to Goldson on the far side at the angle of the box, left-hand side. Goldson trying to create the opportunity. It'll break the way of Cholak. Back with Goldson. Good play from Cholak, but Goldson can't keep control of the ball, and it's Jamie McDonald who gathers with 56 minutes played. It's still Rangers 1, Raith Rovers 0.
That's a big chance for Sakala again. Just takes his eye off the ball. It seemed like, you know, he's got a free header 6 yards out in the middle of goal and completely missed the ball.
How frustrated will Michael Beale be, do you think, with the failure to really rack up a few goals? Because, I mean, in terms of possession, as we've said, it's huge in Rangers' favour, and all the attacking has been done by the home side, but they've just got that one goal.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously will be a source of frustration for Michael Beale, I think, as well, the overplaying that they're doing in terms of not taking shots when they've got the opportunity to do that. Yeah, at 1-0 you're never truly safe, although it's very difficult to see where a goal would come from for Raith Rovers.
Here's Connolly picking up for Raith Rovers to Vaughan on the halfway line, right hand side, plays it down, and Connolly picks up once more on the right for Raith Rovers. Across goes Davies to try and close him down. It's good play from Raith Rovers as Spencer tries to link with Vaughan. It's half clear, but Gonzalez picks up, and now it's Dylan Easton into the penalty area. He goes on the left hand side, tries to curl one, but it's straight into the arms of Alan McGregor. I could see what he was trying to do, shape it away to the far post and into the top corner, but he just didn't get enough on it, and a comfortable save in the end for McGregor.
Yeah, and it'd be Raith's first attack really that involved any sort of numbers being up the field, so that was a fairly weak effort, but
well, it's a deflection into this, an own goal. Rangers have a second goal as Tavernier sent it into the box, and I think it was Ryan Nolan stretching to try and clear. All he could do was divert it into the top corner. Jamie McDonald left with absolutely no chance. And just when Raith Rovers had threatened for a moment at the other end, Rangers broke up fields and Nolan slices it past his own goalkeeper. And Rangers have a second. It's Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
It's horrific. It really is.
Terrible mistake, isn't it?
It really is. I mean, the ball in's not really causing too many problems. He swings at it with his left foot. It comes off his shin and spins high over Jamie McDonald. If you're Ian Murray, you're sitting looking at this going, we've lost one goal from a corner, a set play, which you shouldn't do. And the other goals come from an own goal. But yeah,
it just shows you though. I mean, Tavernier's put the ball in. He's got to the Raith defence facing their own goal, and you know that's a dangerous situation. I mean, it's a horrendous error, but it's a dangerous situation. The ball's in a good area, and unfortunately for Raith Rovers, there was a wild slice at the ball, and it's ended up in the net.
You can see it was a good finish.
It certainly was.
Here's Kent, left-hand side. And Rangers will look to try and add to their tally now after that slice of good fortune. It's Barisic into the 6-yard box. Another deflection, and it'll go for another Rangers corner. And it's a long, long way back. Really, virtually impossible to see a way back into it.
There's no way back. You know, I mean, does Ian Murray kind of twist now and try and get another man up front?
Yeah, I would think
you know,
so.
because you're going to lose anyway. You may as well have a go at it.
That was almost as emphatic a shout, Stephen, as my Women's World Cup one.
Yeah.
James Tavernier flights it in. Connor Goldson attacks it at the back post, doesn't reach it. John Lundstrom back to Barisic. That's good play from Barisic into the 6-yard box, cleared as far as Cantwell, edge of the penalty area, picks up. Now Rascan midway inside the Raith Rovers half as Rangers look to really make this victory a resounding one. It's back into the penalty area again. It's glanced away. Tavernier keeps it in, right hand side on the goal line. There's a player down, and it will be stopped as I think Connor Goldson had taken a blow to the head there, and he's back up on his feet though. And James Tavernier with possession of the ball will, I think, just get a drop ball in the same position.
He just lands awkwardly, does Connor Goldson. The ball in from Barisic yet again was absolutely superb, but it's just the way Connor Goldson landed. But play resumes.
Yeah, with Rangers in possession, it's Lundstrom out to the left-hand side for that man Borna Barisic again. He really looks back to closer to the kind of form we'd seen certainly under Stephen Gerrard and Michael Beale previously, and he had been a shadow of his former self at times under Giovanni van Bronckhorst, particularly defensively, you would have to say, and wasn't really, I think, being encouraged to get forward as much as he likes to. But under Michael Beale, he's again been given that licence to just bomb forwards at will almost. Certainly been doing that this afternoon. Rangers have it just inside their own half. We've played 61 minutes. It's Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0. A Connor Goldson goal just prior to half-time, and a Ryan Nolan own goal just a few minutes ago of Rangers well in command of the tie, and they've won yet another corner over on the far side as Ian Murray, he was signalling a minute ago to one of his substitutes, I think, to just increase the intensity of the warm-up. He's not got too many options in the bench. He's already brought on Lewis Vaughan. His only other outfield players, Luke Mahadi, Ethan Ross, Greg Young. You would imagine Ethan Ross, if anyone, is the more experienced of those three. As Rangers take the corner kick short back to Rascan, left-hand side. Now it's Tavernier takes over and takes the shot on, and it comes off the head of Tom Lang, and it will be behind for another corner. It's a good solid header, putting his head in the way of a fierce Tavernier effort, which might well have been going on target.
Yeah, I think it was. I think Jimmy McDonald scrambling across his goal. It certainly caught well by James Tavernier and well deflected away. Another corner.
Tavernier from the right-hand side. Rascan again offers himself short, but it does go into the 6-yard box. Again, it's Lang with the clearing header. Rascan then slides it forward, but it's a poor pass from the Belgian. He was looking for Cantwell, but it's gone straight behind for a goal kick, and after almost 63 minutes of the game, it's Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, I'm sure that Connor Goldson was furious there, because the ball should have come into the box. You know, it was a second phase of play after a corner. He was staying up anyway, and he tried to feed Raskin tried to feed Cantwell just down the side, and he's overhit it.
It's Raskin and Cantwell combining to win the ball in the middle of the park there. Cantwell just pokes it to Lundstrom, then it's Raskin, just gets the pass off to Barisic, and Barisic motors forward down the left-hand side with Kent ahead of him. Barisic just keeping it in play. I'm not sure if he was trying to pass to Kent or if he just overrun it, but he manages to keep it in any case. And now it's Goldson about 30 yards from goal. Plays it short for Raskin, back to Goldson once more. Raith Rovers still with everyone behind the ball, deep inside their own territory. Kent picks up and plays a short ball to Lundstrom, gets it back again, does Kent, no way through. Lundstrom slides in to try and win it back, and he does do, and Kent gets it to Barisic. Barisic in for Cholak, edge of the penalty area, can't get past Stanton, and Vaughan picks up for Raith Rovers, tries to find a pass for Easton, but Tavernier's in the way, and he gets it out to the left hand side looking for Barisic. It's headed away, but only as far as Cantwell. Still a long way to go in the cup tie, but Rangers look to be cruising to victory and into join Inverness, Cali Thistle and Celtic in the semi-final draw. Falkirk and Ayr United tomorrow evening. Remember, we'll have highlights of this one tonight on Sports Scene for you at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Here's Raskin looking to find Cholak, just too much in the pass through, and McDonald's there before Sakala can latch on to it. 64.5 minutes on the clock. Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Looks to be some activity on the Rangers bench. There's Suter,
Arfield and Yilmaz.
Yep.
Looks like Borna Barisic is going to get a rest after spending the afternoon going up and down that left wing. And Yilmaz, who hasn't played since going off injured at the end of October with a bad hamstring injury, is going to come on. But here come Raith Rovers. It's Connolly into the 6-yard box. Gonsalves just can't connect at the back post, and Raith Rovers fans applaud the intent from their side. We've barely seen them as an attacking force, but that was half a chance.
Certainly was. Really good delivery into the box. Isma Gonsalves at full stretch, just can't quite get there at the back post. Scott Arfield is going to be the first to enter the fray, replacing Fashion Sakala. Barisic is going to be replaced by Ridvan Yilmaz, the young Turk, who did play 45 minutes for the B team, as did John Suter during the week in the Glasgow Cup game against Celtic. And it's Connor Goldson who's replaced by Suter, having scored the opening goal here. And John Suter comes on for just his third appearance of the season. He came on late in the game, late in the win here against Kilmarnock, and on he comes for the closing 24 minutes of this one. And again, good for Rangers fans to see both him and Yilmaz back in a Rangers jersey after long periods out injured. Here is Suter, who had such a tough debut at Livingston. And Joel Newbley giving him a real hard time, and hadn't been seen since then before that comeback against Killie. And he's a player who's had so many problems. Craig, I know you know him well, and you must be delighted to see him back in the field.
Yeah, and I just hope that that's the end of his injury worries. I mean, he's had 3 Achilles repairs. He's just had an ankle operation recently as well, so he's had more than his fair share of bad luck.
Barisic getting applause from the home fans as he makes his way around the pitch to the home dugout. Rangers leading by 2-0, midway point in the second half almost, as Cantwell fires it out to Tavernier, right hand side. Kent has made the move ahead of him, but it's into Cholak instead, and then back to Tavernier on the goal line. Did he keep that one in? No, that's going to be a goal kick this time, and Rangers can't find a way through it. Ethan Ross is going to come on for Raith Rovers, gets a final handshake from Ian Murray, and he's going to replace Esma Gonsalves, who's not played a lot of football this season and has run his race. It's a tough job up there as a lone striker, and well, he might have grabbed the headlines if his long range effort had beaten Alan McGregor and gone in the opening couple of minutes. As it is, drifted wide of the target, and he just missed making contact with that Aidan Connolly ball into the box a minute or so ago, and he goes off without having got his side a goal. And Ethan Ross on to replace him. Lewis Vaughan will just move up front with Ross replacing him as the the attacking midfielder in a central area. Here is Ethan Ross, former Aberdeen youngster. Now Easton, left-hand side. That's a nice flick by Ross. Vaughan into the path of Easton, left-hand side of the penalty area. Raith Rovers looking to get a goal back. Ethan Ross with a chance. Can't get it past McGregor, and Raska makes the clearance. Almost an immediate impact from Ethan Ross. It's a really good move down the left-hand side, and then Kent trying the counter-attack, and that's got to be a yellow card across there as Kent was dragged back. I think it was Spencer, was it, who pulled him back on that occasion and goes into the referee's notebook. But what a move that was by Raith Rovers, so close to pulling a goal back.
Yeah, a wonderful piece of football actually. 3 or 4 players involved, and they've just picked their way through the Rangers defence and left. And I think Ethan Ross should do better actually.
He's got to do better.
I mean, a great chance.
He just kind of panicked, if you like. You know, he's an angle of probably only about 6 yards after the through ball. Alan McGregor goes out to him quickly, but
does McGregor get out? I couldn't see from the replay. Did he get a touch?
No, I think he just completely mishits it. It was like he panicked and didn't show enough composure. But I was almost going to have to eat my words there in terms of not seeing Raith Rovers scoring a goal. That was certainly a big opportunity for them.
Rangers come down the left-hand side. 2-0 it remains with 20 minutes left to play at Ibrox. Ben Davies has possession, plays it square for Suter. Suter midway inside the Raith Rovers half, gets it back from Tavernier, then plays it into Davies. Now Kent up to the edge of the penalty area, plays it out to the left-hand side for Yilmaz. And now Lundstrom plays it square for Cantwell. Suter offers himself the square ball, but 25 yards from goal, plays it short for Cholak. Tries to take it on first time. It's a tough one to try and take. And Nolan just deflects it behind. On this occasion it'll be a corner for Rangers from the right-hand side, to be taken by James Tavernier. 20 minutes left of the Scottish Cup tie, and Rangers looking to increase their lead and make it an even more comfortable afternoon. Tavernier, right-footed, swings it to the back post. Suter was looking to attack it, but it was a Raith Rovers head that got to it first. Comes out to Cantwell, edge of the box, tries to curl one, and Jamie McDonald just watches that go past his left-hand post. He got down and I think had it covered, but didn't look all that convincing, the goalkeeper. But it does remain Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, it was as if he went to leave it, Jamie McDonald, and they didn't realise how close it was actually going to be. It just a whisker past his left-hand post. It was a good effort from Cantwell from the edge of the box, trying a shot, something that Rangers haven't done enough of throughout the game.
Lundstrom beaten in the air, but comes to Suter midway inside his own half. Now Davies for Yilmaz. Rangers paid a fair bit of money for him in the summer. Haven't seen all that much of him as Arfield sweeps the ball towards goal. That one's saved by McDonald, behind for a corner. But Arfield, anytime he gets an opportunity, will look to go for goal, and denied by the Raith Rovers goalkeeper.
Yeah, good play by Yilmaz down that left-hand side, and he managed to pick a teammate out, and it was a decent effort on goal, and Jamie was equal to it.
Here's Cantwell, gets the short corner. He goes for a goal again. He's high and wide on that occasion from the former Norwich City midfielder. And it will be a Raith Rovers goal kick. 72 minutes almost played at Ibrox. Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Well, he obviously fancied this one after his last shot. It just went past the post. It went for power this time. Got a hold of it really well, but it was always rising over Jamie McDonald's bar.
Yeah, Raith Rovers won't want this to get embarrassing. They'll want to, I mean, if they can leave here having been beaten by 2-0, that's pretty respectable, especially when you consider how stretched their squad is. And they'll certainly want to avoid a big defeat. You know, if it gets to 4 and 5, then it begins to be a bit more damaging psychologically. Here's Yilmaz into the penalty area, headed away by Spencer. Comes to Davies. Rangers on the flip side of that will want to add to their tally. Suter finds Cholak. And if we'll see Alfredo Morelos in the closing stages. Lewis Bond's the latest one to go for an effort at goal from inside his own half. Alan McGregor pretty comfortable in dealing with that one. It wasn't as good an effort as Esma Gonzalez was in the first period.
It was not. I mean, I don't think it was even going to reach the goal in the end. It was going wide as well. But, you know, incredible that it's kind of two of the chances that they've had in the game have come from long efforts. You go back to that previous chance just 5 minutes ago. That was definitely the best opportunity that they've had in the game, and just needed a wee bit more composure from Ethan Ross in the final stage.
Yeah, he was heavily involved in the build-up, did well, but he lacked composure to finish it off, which might just have given Raith Rovers a taste for the comeback, as Yilmaz finds the top of the net with an attempted cross. He got the cross wrong, but almost ended up favourably for him. But Jamie McDonald sees it onto the roof of the net, and with 16 minutes still to play, it's Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, Jamie had that covered, but I think he had a little bit of an anxious moment when I don't think Yilmaz intended to put the ball into that area.
Goal kick, Raith Rovers then, 16 left. Lundstrom wins the header, falls to Connolly though for Raith Rovers, and then back by Masson to Jamie McDonald. Inside his penalty area, clears up towards the halfway line. Lundstrom and Spencer contest the high ball, breaks for Easton. Spencer couldn't control it. Lundstrom sliding in. It's a pretty poor challenge. It's a yellow card for John Lundstrom.
Pointless.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what was
why go into
intending to do there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not been that type of game. You're 2-0 up. There's no
advantages he's going to get from winning that ball even.
It was a stupid challenge to make from Lundstrom. An easy one for John Beaton to give.
I think he's maybe one player who possibly hasn't benefited from the change of manager. He actually hasn't hit some of the heights he was sitting, certainly towards the end of last season.
No, he's not. He's not played anywhere near those levels for Rangers. Been in and out the side as well.
So maybe, I don't know if it was a bit of frustration in terms of that challenge. It was a ill-advised one, certainly, as Cantwell picks up, tries to find Arfield, but that'll be collected by Dylan Easton instead inside the centre circle, and Raith Rovers will try and mount a counter-attack. Lewis Vaughan slides in. Ben Davies, though, just stands up and knocks the ball out of play over on the far side. Quarter of an hour left. Rangers leading by 2-0. Difficult to see a way back into the game for the visitors, but they have threatened.
I think Vaughan's made a difference. I do think he's made a difference. He's got a lot of composure and good experience, and he has a calmness about him as well that has helped Raith get further up the field this half.
It's been an improvement in the first half in terms of trying to get up the pitch, and the occasions that they have managed. They've kind of put together 2 or 3 really nice moments of passing, but just that end product has been missing for them. But in terms of the first half, where they had virtually no kind of breaches into Rangers' final third, it's been an improvement from that point of view.
Raith Rovers have it. It's Tom Lang, more or less on the halfway line, out to the right-hand side, as they look for a way back into the tie. 2-0 they trail, as I see Alfredo Morelos, and it is Yanis Hadji who will come on for the closing just under quarter of an hour. Suter already on, up to the halfway line. Short ball for Cantwell, back for Lundstrom, and now it's Arfield out to the left-hand side for Yilmaz coming forward. Midway inside the Raith Rovers half, Yilmaz comes infield, looks to poke it through for Kent, but it was a misplaced pass, and Masson will pick up and finds Spencer. Spencer then prods it forward, asking far too much of Vaughan there, and it's Alan McGregor who will collect possession and then plays it out to John Suter. Suter up to the halfway line and plays it forward for Cholak, who can get turned and then run towards the penalty. It's a poor pass for Cantwell. It looked a fairly straightforward one that he could have played for Cantwell, and then Cantwell fills Dylan Easton down deep in Raith Rovers territory. It will be a Raith free kick and a chance for Rangers to make that double change, and Antonio Cholak comes off to be replaced by Morelos. Not Cholak's best afternoon, you would have to say.
They've been very kind, Alistair.
Yeah, he's not had a good day. A couple of half chances with headers he should have done better with. His link-up play at times has been quite sloppy as well. He's not really been involved in the game at all, but a chance for Hadji and Morelos to come on and add a wee bit of spark in the closing 10 or so minutes.
Ryan Kent's the other player to be replaced. as Morelos and Hadji take to the field. And Hadji, another player who, of course, has been out long-term with a bad injury, knee injury in his case, and good to see him return to something approaching full fitness and gets the last 12 minutes or so of this Scottish Cup tie. Knocked on by Easton down the left for Raith Rovers, but Davies gets it back to Alan McGregor. He's more and more, alongside Connor Golson particularly, they've begun to form a decent partnership and that run of games as well, Stephen. It looks more and more comfortable in a Rangers jersey.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, earlier on in the season, Rangers were having problems in centre-half areas, players playing there that weren't comfortable. You had Lundstrom, you had Sands sometimes playing in at centre-half, but Davies and Golson have struck up a good partnership, and it helps when you're getting the same sort of back four out in the pitch every game for continuity for them. And yeah, he's been steady.
It'll be difficult for John Souttar now that he's back to full fitness to get into the starting lineup, you would have to say. Here he is in possession right now, midway inside the Raith Rovers half. Raith Rovers keen to keep this scoreline respectable. Just over 10 minutes left, Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0. It's Raskan just clipping it into the penalty area, headed away by Lang, picked up by Hadji midway inside the Raith half. Out to Morelos it comes, just right of centre at the edge of the box. Lundstrom picks up. Tavernier now coming in towards the penalty area, just looks to find the run of Arfield. Arfield's in, McDonald, good save, smothers it the second time of asking, out to just block the initial effort from Arfield. Good run again from Arfield, coming forward from that attacking midfield position, but denied again by Jamie McDonald. Rangers 2, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, he's a very clever player, Arfield, isn't he? There was a wonderful run, and when it was, you got credit Jamie with the save actually, because he got down well at his feet, but it was really clever run.
Yeah, Arfield's one of a number of Rangers players whose future beyond the end of the season is not entirely clear. Out of contract at the end of this campaign. Obviously the kind of very high profile ones are Morelos and Kent, but likes of Arfield and Ryan Jack, also first team players who may or may not continue at the club under Michael Beale beyond the end of this campaign. As Greg Young is going to come on for a closing 10 minutes here, a teenage left back normally. Young, and he's got a flavour of the big time, and he's going to replace Adam Masson, who is an 18-year-old coming to Ibrox. He's not really put a foot wrong, you would have to say.
Yeah, I mean, he's had a tough afternoon in terms of the wide players running at him and getting balls in the box, but defensively he's done quite well today.
It's going to be a free kick Rangers way. Souttar was fouled there by Vaughan. Just looking to see, so yeah, Young is going to play it at left back, and Liam Dick has gone from left across to the right back position to play out these final 9 minutes plus stoppage time at Ibrox. But I mean, it's been a very comfortable afternoon for Rangers, barring one or two small scares.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like a training match at times. It's a bit pedestrian at times as well. You can hear the crowd normally so loud in Ibrox, you can hear a pin drop half the time. It just kind of tells you how this second half's gone.
Tavernier has it. 2-0 Rangers lead with 8 minutes plus injury time left in this Scottish Cup quarter-final. Here's Cantwell, knocks it forward looking for Morelos, but it's cut out, and Raith Rovers can come down the right-hand side looking for a consolation perhaps. It's Vaughan, left-hand side up against Souttar. Souttar standing up, not committing, and eventually uses his strength to win the ball off Vaughan. And now it's Hadji, knocks it back to the edge of his own penalty area to Davies. I'm sure the Rangers fans would be keen to see another goal or two go in before the end of the match, but it's all been very comfortable for the home side as they try to defend the Scottish Cup trophy that they won last season against Hearts, and really realistically their only chance of silverware this season. Alan McGregor out of his penalty area to pick up possession. It's Ben Davies, knocks it short to Raskan. And now Suter just inside his own half. Square again for Raskan. Raith Rovers just trying to sit in their positions, not give anything else away. As Yilmaz picks up on the left-hand side. Back with Cantwell it goes, and now Raskan once more. Short ball for Suter. 15 yards inside the Raith Rovers half. Spreads play out to the left-hand side. Is it kept in by Cantwell? No, it wasn't. And it's going to be a Raith Rovers throw-in over on the far side.
I think Ian Murray will be quite happy with his team's performance. Tomo, do you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the 2 goals that they've conceded, one from a set play, the other one, you know, a deflection, goal, yeah. Out with that, they haven't really been stretched, if you like, by Rangers. I think they've held their shape well. In the second half, they've managed to get up the pitch a wee bit more. But, you know, it's been ever so comfortable for Rangers. You feel as though Rangers have got another 2-3 gears that they could find if they had to. And at times, you know, it's just been a big game of keep ball.
Yeah, well, their domestic home record has been good. It's approaching a year since they lost at home in domestic football. That was against Celtic back in April of last year, and that in itself was their only defeat in 90 minutes since a defeat to Hamilton Accies back in March 2020, although they did lose on penalties to St Johnstone at this stage of the Scottish Cup a couple of seasons back, as St Johnstone went on to win the Cup, of course. And Falkirk and Ayr United will look to join Cali Thistle and Celtic, and almost certainly Rangers in the semi-final. There's an offside flag up over on the far side against Raith Rovers, and Rangers will have the free kick. 5 minutes left of the 90 as Ben Davies has gone down just outside his own penalty area, and Rangers have used all their substitutes, so they won't want to see Ben Davies come off, and they won't want to see him pick up another injury, because he was plagued by injury almost since arriving from Liverpool. As on come the Rangers physios. As for Raith Rovers, I mean, they're 7th in the championship. You would imagine that they've left it too late to make any run for the playoffs, but nonetheless, they're a tidy side. They always, even, you know, under John McGlynn before Ian Murray, Craig, they play some good football.
Yeah, they've got some good football players, and they do like to play a possession-based game. And quite often, last season in particular, when John was there, I mean, I think I watched 3 or 4 other matches, and I came away impressed, every time.
Yeah, Ian Murray has continued that tradition, certainly, of possession-based football, and the type of players that he's brought in as well. But they just haven't been good enough ultimately this afternoon. But they certainly haven't disgraced themselves, that's for sure, as Yilmaz picks up and Rangers start once more from the back. Lundstrom, Ben Davies just moving back into position, looks to be okay. Cantwell plays it forward, can't link with Hadji though, and back will go Greg Young. Plays that off Hadji. It will be a Raith Rovers throw in on this near side as time ticks away, and Rangers move closer and closer to a place in the last 4 of the Scottish Cup.
And that's all that matters at the end of the day, Alistair. It's not been their best performance, it's been very comfortable for them, but they're in the hat for tomorrow night.
The thing is though, I mean, if you're Michael Beale, you really want surely to build on the type of performance that they had at Easter Road, and even regardless of the fact that they're having to, you know, try and unlock a very, very deep defence. Here's Cantwell with the opportunity, slides it for Arfield, must be the 3rd, and it is. Arfield from 8 yards out, just side puts it past Jamie McDonald, who was completely exposed as Rangers put together a good move down the right hand side, and Rangers extend their advantage, and Scott Arfield off the bench to notch Rangers' 3rd goal of the afternoon. It's Rangers 3, Raith Rovers 0.
Yeah, it's a good goal. It's good play on the right hand side from Hadji, nicks it into Cantwell. For once in the match, Raith Rovers aren't set up properly in their back 4. Cantwell plays a wee slide rule past his left, and for Arfield it's a very simple finish. 7 yards out, just picks a corner.
Yeah, a good play by Cantwell, wasn't it? Because the temptation there would have been to try and get a shot off himself, but he recognised that it was much easier to guarantee a goal almost by squaring the ball across the face of the goal and the tap-in.
Yeah, Arfield gets his 8th goal of the season. It probably puts a more accurate reflection on the scoreline in terms of the absolute dominance Rangers have had in the game, and rewards those Rangers fans who have stuck around, because a lot of them have left already. The Raith Rovers fans have, for the most part, stayed and watched their side, and they can be certainly encouraged by the performance and the resilience, but ultimately it's been a fairly straightforward victory for Rangers. Made to wait for the opening goal from Connor Goldson just a few minutes before the interval, but ever since then it has been pretty much one-way traffic. Even before then, to be fair, it was. Here's Morelos, left-hand side is Yilmaz, as they look to just add further gloss to the scoreline. Hadji might become to Morelos, tries to poke it beyond McDonald, good save, comes to Yilmaz, left-hand side of the box, 3-1 challenge and a second. Arfield gets it back to Hadji looking to flick it back to Lundstrom. Chance is gone now, but Cantwell picks up left-hand side. Good stop that from McDonald, though, to deny Morelos a 4th goal for Rangers. Final minute of the 90. Hadji picks up central area, midway inside the Raith Rovers half. Gets it back from Raskan. Here is Hadji, the Romanian, out to the left-hand side to Cantwell. Little bit of showmanship there from Cantwell, and he's taken out as he played the pass by Vaughan. Play allowed to continue by John Beaton, with James Tavernier picking up just outside the penalty area. Raskan for Suter, and out to the right-hand side for Hadji. Just await the 4th officials board to see how much added on time there will be. Morelos gets the break of the ball inside the box, claimed for handball. Just 2 minutes to be added on, nothing given in terms of the penalty claim. As Rangers come once more on the left-hand side, it's Yilmaz. Goes back the way to Raskan. Arfield's given it away. Well, and Cantwell, a bit of retribution there on Lewis Vaughan. Vaughan didn't like that, goes chest to chest with Cantwell, and in steps John Beaton to try and sort it out. And Vaughan didn't like the challenge from Cantwell, but you could see that Cantwell was intent on getting his own back after the challenge previously from Vaughan.
I don't think Vaughan, he didn't appreciate the showboating.
Probably not. No.
Yeah. And I think that's what's led to this little bit of pushing and shoving.
Yeah, Vaughan just left one on him after he did that wee bit of showboating, and then that was retribution from Cantwell. And another silly booking, really.
Yeah, I think they both get booked there. Yeah. And the game moves into stoppage time. Raith Rovers will have the free kick just inside the centre circle. 3-0 Rangers lead. It's lifted in towards the edge of the penalty and nodded down by Nolan. Raith Rovers looking for a consolation. Alan McGregor, though, will collect that pretty comfortably. We've played over a minute of the time to be added on. It might just be a little bit more than the 2 minutes after that coming together between Cantwell and Lewis Vaughan. Suter has it at the edge of his penalty area. Now Davies into Morelos. Morelos gets turned deep inside his own half, plays it forward, looking for the run of Arfield, nodded behind by Tom Lang. There'll be a final Rangers corner here as they come forward into injury time, and Rangers comfortably moving into the last 4 of the Scottish Cup, with the draw to come on Monday evening following Falkirk against Ayr United. Inverness, Cali Thistle already there, Celtic already there. They will be favourites to probably clinch a domestic treble, as the corner's taken to Hadji short, comes back to Lundstrom. Now it's Raskan, 25 yards from goal, tries to curl one, parried away, comes to Hadji, tries to side put it in, but he finds the side netting only, and that is the final whistle at Ibrox. A comfortable victory for Rangers in the end. 3-0 they win by. It was almost never in doubt, you would have to say. But Isma Gonzalez almost put the cat amongst the pigeons early on as he tried to beat Alan McGregor from inside his own half, but his audacious effort flew just wide of the post after he'd been presented with the opportunity by Connor Goldson. But Goldson, after that relief went up the other end and got the opening goal just a few minutes before the half-time whistle went. It was a header from Borna Barisic, corner kick, and it was flashed back across Jamie McDonald by Goldson and into the back of the net as the big defender opened the scoring. And then into the second period, Rangers just added to their advantage. There was a big slice of luck about the second goal. It was a Tavernier cross just before the hour mark, sliced into his own goal by Ryan Nolan. Unfortunate bit of defending, but Rangers had the 2-goal advantage, and from there on in it was an inevitable cruise to the last 4 of the Scottish Cup semi-final. And just a couple of minutes before the end of the match, Scott Arfield came off the bench to side foot in Rangers' 3rd goal of the afternoon after a good move down the right hand side. So Rangers comfortably into the semi-final draw. They'll be joined by Falkirk or Ayr United tomorrow evening. Raith Rovers fans applaud their team off the park. They go and take the acclaim over there. Rangers into the last 4. It finished at Ibrox. Rangers 3, Raith Rovers 0.
The Scottish Cup.
This is the